JSC is deliberating today on its preferred candidate for the position of Chief Justice after a week of interviews. Constitutional Court Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga was the first one to appear before the JSC on Tuesday. He was then followed by Supreme Court of Appeal Justice Mandisa Maya, Judge President Dustin Mlambo, and then Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo just yesterday. But last night's session ended in chaos when the EFF and Justice Minister Ronald Lamula shouted at each other. eNCA reporter Heidi Giokos has been following the story for us and joins us live. Good afternoon, Heidi. We understand that there's already been a request for an interview of JP Dustin Mlambo to be redone.
Yes, indeed. So yesterday already there was a letter that was written by Professor Helen from Rhodes University for the interview of Judge President Dustin Mlambo to be redone. And the reason for this is because of those sexual harassment rumors that that were brought up in surfaced rather. I think I'm just too tired. I'm confusing words. That surfaced. During okay, let's focus. That surfaced during the interview. So we do understand that many were saying that the reason these questions were even allowed to be asked, or the fact that these questions were even allowed to be asked, is actually just unacceptable, because it was based on rumors. There was no kind of indication of any proof of evidence, and many are saying this was only to discredit the candidate, which is Judge President Dustin Mlambo. And what we're seeing is that the professor is saying she actually didn't really want the public to know about this letter. She just says, as a concerned individual who is within the legal fraternity, she finds it very concerning that such questions were even asked. She even went as far, Mfundo, to say as that the questions that were posed to Supreme Court of Appeal President Mandisa Maya, that they had sexist connotations to them, especially about being a female, and is the country ready for a first female Chief Justice. So this letter was written, and I do understand that the Judicial Service Commission is deliberating on this. But let's listen to some of the interview that I conducted earlier on all angles with regards to this letter that was written.
I want to preface my comments by saying that I never intended for this letter to be read out during the proceedings of the JSC. It appears that it was inadvertently read out at the end of the JSC under any other business, when the Deputy Judge President, as chair, was not aware that the matter was still being televised, as I understand it. So I want to be on record as saying I was frustrated and disappointed when I'm a member of the legal profession, a profession that I hold dear, and I wanted to address the JSC directly, hence a letter to the secretary to be placed before the chair of the committee to consider a member of the legal profession's concerns. So certainly it wasn't meant to be televised. It was meant for the deliberations. But having said that, I stand by the comments that I did make, because I do believe that the candidates were not treated fairly across the board.
Now, Heidi, we know that the sexual harassment allegations will be expunged from the records, but let's just go back to some of those questions. I mean, they were honestly cringeworthy. Talk to us about those questions.
Yes, I think you put it rightfully so, Mfundo, cringeworthy. And the reason for this is because how does one pose questions based on rumors to a candidate that's being interviewed for the Chief Justice position, for the position of Chief Justice in the highest court of the land, and it's based on rumors? And many were arguing that it shouldn't have even been allowed to be asked in the first place, and only after the lunch break, after many questions were asked by many commissioners to Judge Mlambo, that this is just based on rumors, and not one single person has been able to come forward or provide any evidence about these sexual harassment rumours. And the Commissioner, spokesperson for the Judicial Service Commission, which is Senior Counsel Dalian Pofu, said in the beginning, I don't believe that she did it, but do you know that there are rumours about sexual harassment linked to you? And you could actually see that Judge President Dunstan Mlambo was taken aback by this. One of the commissioners actually also asked, did you know that we were going to ask you about these questions? And there seemed to be some kind of irritation amongst the commissioners to say, well, other questions were asked that he didn't know anything about, but it's the principle around the nature of these kinds of questions and the seriousness when it comes to sexual harassment rumours that are being thrown at a candidate without any kind of evidence or anybody coming to say, yes, I've actually been sexually harassed. So that became very problematic. But I want us to listen to how the JP actually responded to that question.
There is no substance to that rumor. It's a rumor, and I think it's an insidious, poisonous rumor. There's actually no substance to it. When I heard about it, I was actually shocked, right? And I was actually hoping that someone would come up and say, I'm one of those who's been sexually harassed by Judge President Mlambo. So it's unfortunate that people are using people's names willy-nilly in spreading rumors of this nature. There's completely no substance to that rumor.
All right, Heidi, thank you very much for that update. We'll touch base with you a bit later on. That's our reporter Heidi Giokos.